Okay, Jose, I'm ready on my end.
Okay.
All right, do you want to go ahead and hit record on the iPad for the
Yeah.
video?
Oh, it's been recording since you said
Oh,
I'm.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So the main question that I want you to explain on video is how did your agency, your specific office, adapt after losing the funding per capita per refugee? So explain your kind of transition to immigration services, what you were before, and how you made that transition and how you're surviving now.
Okay. So, World Relief Southern California is in a unique position because while doing refugee resettlement, we provided both immigration legal services, which includes assessments for anyone who might not have status, or any individual who does have status and needs to become a resident or file a petition for another relative. And so we were already managing and doing that on as another department. And it just happened to be that with the current administration, the number of refugees entering the United States decreased drastically. Therefore, we were forced to kind of just focus on immigration legal services. And so for a while, we were concerned as to what was going to happen to the case managers at World Relief Southern California. But at the same time, we were trying to be hopeful, given that having stricter policies, or not stricter, but just intense policies that really separate families and kind of tear apart those who are trying to become residents and citizens would mean that more individuals would try to pursue some kind of immigration relief if eligible, because the question is always like, is someone eligible? And so we really focus on getting DOJ accredited representatives. So a lot of our staff was initially partially accredited with the hope of becoming full accredited, and so as time went by, more and more individuals were able to get that certification, which in turn enabled us to provide services to the immigrant and refugee community within Southern California. And so now, also now that the state of California has allocated funding for immigration services, we are able to have greater capacity in providing services to the refugee and immigrant community. And so right now we have at least 9 staff who are partially accredited, which means that they can represent anyone before USCIS, and we have a fully accredited representative with the hope of having 2 additional fully accredited representatives to represent individuals before immigration court.
And so you said you guys have actually hired more staff over this administration tenure, despite the policy than lose staff. Is that correct?
That is correct. As we made the transition from providing refugee resettlement services, 90-day case management, our World Relief Southern California office shifted to providing immigration legal services to the immigrant community at large. And because of the high number of individuals either renewing deferred action applications, pursuing citizenship, which is one of our main objectives, to increase the number of residents in a system in becoming citizens of the United States. With that, and also just family-based petitions also has increased. At the same time, what I've seen also an increase in is individuals who've been victims of abuse by U.S. citizens and have cooperated with law enforcement agencies. That number has increased significantly, meaning that they would be eligible for a U visa, and ultimately gain a pathway towards residency citizenship.
Okay, so you guys reshifted your focus from primarily resettling refugees to providing legal services to those of all immigration, status and backgrounds. But I guess my question is, when refugees who have previously been resettled by your organization, are they still able to come to your organization to get the typical services that a refugee would expect from the organization that resettles them?
Right, and what's interesting is we were one of 2 resettlement agencies here in Orange County. Before it was 3, but Catholic Charities was closed for a while. And refugees and immigrants do come to our office seeking those services, even after our program no longer provided 90-day case management. And one of our beliefs as an organization here in Garden Grove is that we won't close the door to anyone. So if refugee families come to our office and are seeking some kind of guidance, whether it be furniture, whether it be food, whether it be some kind of mental health support, or what to do next because there's a family abroad that is seeking to enter the United States, and there's because of their family reunification or whatnot, we're always opening the doors for the different immigrant communities, specifically the refugee community. So we still provide that, even though it's not part of our service.
So you actually, I guess so. Like, you have funding coming in from the state for the legal services to everybody. But so, I mean, are you kind of overextending your resources a little bit? I mean, by continuing to serve the people that you're no longer receiving federal funding for?
That is correct, and that's actually a really great question. There's a lot of, within 90 days, 90 days, it's a very small amount of time for someone, for anyone actually. It doesn't matter who you are, whether a refugee or someone even just going abroad, right, to understand the systems, to really fully develop the language, to understand cultural norms, understand, once again, systems, and trying to navigate them. That's a very small amount of time to really master that. And so families continue to seek service and guidance, and so as time has gone by, we don't, like you mentioned, we don't have funding to provide those direct services, but we still continue to provide that guidance and support because we understand that it is important. And so one thing that we would really, that we're really looking at the state to do is to create a set of funding made available to resettlement agencies, I think specifically since they already have the experience to provide case management services. But in this case is to provide services to perhaps the refugee immigrant community, but at the same time asylum-seeking families who are fighting their case before an immigration judge, and so they need the resources and guidance to fully be integrated into our society, but they don't have that support either. So that's something that we're really trying to advocate for as time goes by, given that there is a huge number of families trying to who are seeking asylum and need that support and guidance.
Okay. I mean, for right now, for the video version, I think that's probably all the questions I'll need answered in one video. So if you want to stop the recording now, that's okay.